1, 2, 3, 4.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We have our On the Dot episode here. We are breaking down the Travelers Championship as we recap the U.S. Open, and we are always here with my man at TeaserNation. Teaser, how are we feeling? How are we feeling about the U.S. Open? I think you had a couple good hits. I think you had overall a very, very nice tournament.
Yeah, man. So it still stays the same. I make my money on the tournament matchups. It was I don't know, the majors. I guess because a lot of guys miss. It's a lot of volatility, so you just hit them after 2 days. So like I had 3 done after 2 days, so that was good. Almost 5 units won on tournament matchups. A couple placements hits. I had Fitzpatrick and Zally, and then outrights Rahm and Zalatoris. Another heartbreak. That's 2 times this year at Torrey Pines with Zalatoris when he lost a list. And then, this week, I guess I'm kind of happy. I don't know, man. I'm looking back at it. Maybe I should have took the 25-1 on Fitzpatrick. I was like, I even said it on stream. I'm not taking that because there's nothing there. But I don't know. I guess the play was to get him future like a month before last week. So
Seriously.
I don't know. It was overall. Yeah, I'm not gonna be pressed about it. It was an overall good week for me. So, looking into the future here for the Travelers. So keep moving on.
No, yeah, and we had a good little section on Hadwin for DFS, and hopefully some people played him. I didn't have any top 10s, top 20s, top 40s for him. I know a couple people in the Discord for sure had him in their lineups, which was nice to see. And then I had a Zalatoris ticket, and then I think I had Fitzpatrick top 20. That was the other one. I went heavy Fitzpatrick, heavy Finau. Finau was horrific, but Fitzpatrick came through. I actually had one of my buddies come up to me. It was like middle of the third round. He's like, "Hey, who do you think can win this thing?" And I'm like, he pointed at Fitzpatrick on his phone, and I was like, he's not gonna get it done. I wouldn't tell you to bet him. So I just look like a jackass there.
Yeah, I mean he played well Sunday, man. It was kind of insane. He hit like 17 greens in reg, so I mean he didn't really leave any room. I mean I'm kind of happy where Zalatoris, he fought back, so that was cool. That's another question. I guess I'll ask you too. I see so much on Twitter the next 2 days, like, oh, Zalatoris is gonna get his win. Don't worry. I mean, he's a great player, but will he get a win? Will he be that guy who never gets a win? Like people are like, oh, he's gonna win, but like we've seen him time and time again where he just can't close, or someone else he could just be that guy who's unlucky and he gets outplayed on a Sunday. So I don't know, man. We'll see, but it's not a guarantee he's gonna win. That's all I'm saying. So what do you think about that? Do you think he'll get it?
Will he? Oh yeah, he'll definitely get his. He's too damn good of a golfer, and I think someone in the Discord even said it. It was like if he just squeaks out 2 of these or 1 of these, we're talking about one of the next big time golfers at the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be kind of having the cloud over his head that he can't finish. I think he's fine. He's a young kid. He's going to be able to just go out there and swing it and not think about it too much. His putting has obviously gotten a lot better for him to be competing every single week, week in and week out. I don't see anything wrong with Zally.
Yeah, I think this was the time where I think he just got outplayed by Fitzpatrick. I don't think he did like anything to lose. You know what I mean? Like He had that putt that missed by inches, but I'll still be betting him. So we'll see. I just want to be on that first win. That's going to be the most satisfying hit I've ever had in my life.
It's going to happen where we just miss it and we're going to be pissed off.
He'll be like 10-1 the favorite, and we'll be like, oh, he's not winning. He'll win. So. We'll see.
All right, so we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys do have any questions, throw them in the chat if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. And if you're on Twitter, maybe you guys can DM one of us or hit up the link tree on my page and you can join the Discord for free. So we will go over outrights, we'll go over top 20s, top 40s, and then we will have some first round leaders and some matchups. So maybe dive in a little bit of DFS as well. So make sure if you guys do have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll pop them up on the screen and we'll try to answer them as best as possible. So Teaser, you want to break down the course, some attributes that we want to focus on this week and get it going?
Yeah, so I know I say this a lot of weeks, but I love this course. I think it's a really good tournament. So it's called TBC River Highlands. It's the second smallest course on the PGA Tour. It's about not even 6,900 yards, so it doesn't even touch 7,000. It's a par 70. I think the greens are a bent and POA blend. So yeah, like I said, second shortest course on the tour. 10 par fours measuring under 450 yards, which is actually pretty insane. The rough is kind of the course's best defense here, so you kind of want to find fairways here. The course ranks top 7 in strokes lost from off the fairway, so many will club down. So you'll see a lot of club downs, like 4 iron, 2 iron, hybrid, stuff like that. There's also a couple of risk reward holes, like I think the 15th hole is about 295 yard par 4 with water on the left and danger on the right. So that's always a fun hole to watch. You can easily make eagle or make a double bogey, so that's a cool one. So a couple course comps. It's a short positional course. Colonial Country Club is that one that we saw a couple weeks ago. TBC Deer Run, where they played the John Deere, and then TBC Sawgrass and Harbor Town as well, where the RBC Heritage is. So those are just small 7,000 yard courses that compare. And then key stats before we get right into it. I'm looking at off the tee ball striking, because you obviously want to be in the fairway, and it's kind of a second shot course. Birdies are better because it can be a birdie fest. I think we were talking about it before. There might not be as much win this week. So I think we could see maybe 17 under as a win, maybe 19. And then proximity 125 to 150 maybe, because like I said, most are about 400 yards. So if you're getting it down there, you'll leave yourself with that yardage. So yeah, those key stats I'm going with. And then I'll kind of dive right into my outrights. As of right now, I have 5, so it's kind of a big outright card. I usually don't get that too big unless a major. So I'm going to start off with Cantley. There's rumors he's going to Saudi League, so you can take that. I'm not really going to look into that. You can't really look at the external factors when betting, but I hope he's not going, but we'll see. His model rank, I think he is 6th on here.
Yep.
6th. He's 10th in ball striking his last 50 rounds, 10th strokes gain approach, 9th par 4, 400 to 450, and 18th in birdies or better. You kind of know what you're going to get from him. He's been in great recent form besides the PGA. I think he played decent last week. I think he got T30 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this course history here is actually pretty insane. He has 4 top 20s his last 4 years, and he's gained over 7 strokes each time in total. Secondly, I'm going to go with a guy I haven't really been high on until kind of now. I'm seeing how good he is Sam Burns. 18 to 1 I got on Sam Burns. Obviously, he's going to rank pretty well in the model because he's getting up there with elite players, I would say. He's 7th in ball striking, 2nd in approach, as you guys can kind of see on that. His strokes gained par 5s and birdies are better are also top 10. So I'm going to roll with him. I think if this kind of turns out to be a birdie fest, as we said, I think he'll be right up there in contention and have a chance to win. And then as a mid-tier kind of play, I'm going to go with our guy, Davis Riley. You kind of got me on him a couple weeks ago. I was more of a Cam Young guy, but ever since I've been really on this guy. He really fits well everywhere. Got a top 20 at PGA. He fell out of the top 20 last week, but he did play pretty well. A couple double bogeys on par 5s, but he fits everywhere. Charles Schwab, he just got a 4th, so that's a very similar course to here. So I think I'm going to go roll with him at 40 to 1. I see a little bit of value there. I think it could be his week to break through finally. And then for some mid-tier to long shot guys, both at 80 to 1. I'm going to go with McNeely and Brendan Todd. Brendan Todd, man, he's been on a heater. I've been on him the past 2 weeks. Charles Schwab, he got a third, and RBC Canadian, he got a 13th. So McNeely and Todd don't really rank out well in the model, but you can kind of search them at the top if you just type in Todd at the top of the search bar. But he's really just a guy where he hits fairways, he's good around the greens, and his putter's always hot. He's a top 10 putter on tour. That's what he excels at, and that's kind of what you need at this course. He also has a second here on the COVID year Travelers where he lost to Dustin Johnson. So, yeah, I like both of them this week, and that wraps up my outright card for this week.
Boom. And I'll be right there on you with Patrick Cantlay this week. When you think of short courses, he's the first guy that comes to mind. Other guy that you actually did talk about, or before the stream you talked about that you weren't going to be on, but you could be on, was Kevin Streelman. Those are like the two guys that I think of on short courses. They just fit pretty well, and for whatever reason, they're usually towards the top of the leaderboard. So I'm going to, I think I told the Discord this earlier today, I'm going to make my usual 20 lineups for DFS, and I'm going to lock button him. I usually never lock button anybody in DFS, but I think this is a good time to do so. Yeah, you can call me crazy, call me an idiot, but I'm going to be all in on Cantlay this week. So I do have an outright at 12 to 1 on him, and then I will be on him a buttload for the DFS side of it. So the second guy we're going to go with is Joaquin Niemann. I don't know where the heck he's at in this model here. Here he is. He is ranked right outside the top 10, but he fits the category here as well. With strokes gained on approach, strokes gained on the par fours, par fives, all types of categories he fills out. I was on him last week. If you guys tuned in, Steph kind of made me be on him. She was pretty convincing. So I'm going to go back to the well here. He did a fairly well job last weekend, but I think he can. I think he's got a pretty good chance to take it home, and then obviously score well for DFS side. And then we were talking about Davis Riley again. I'm going to be on him. I got 40 to 1 odds here on Davis Riley. It has not played here, so that's the only concern in my eyes. However, with him not having too much experience, he has shown that it does not matter what course he plays. He's going to be around, be top 10, and have a chance maybe this weekend to pull it through. Then the last one, which is my crazy one, 80 to 1. You've seen a lot of him this week, probably sometime if you read through different articles. Joel Dahman, he plays this course very well. He's got a good course history. That's one of the factors, obviously, that you look to with big time odds. And 80 to 1, you can sprinkle him, or you can do a first round leader on Joel. So either one of those two plays with me. I'm officially going to have an outright at 80 to 1 here. But then flowing to the top 20s, my top 3 here that I'll post as well. I'm going to go with my guy Seamus Power. Seamus is I can't believe I wasn't on him last week either. But he ranks well here. He plays well, and his salary kind of surprises me here at 9,100 on DFS, and he's only coming in right at about 11%. So I feel like there's some value here. I'll probably be over the field on Seamus, and then another one that I missed out last week on that I'm not going to miss out this week. Teaser had him was full into him was Aaron Wise. Aaron Wise, I'm at plus 180 to finish in the top 20. He's another guy, ranks very well in the model here at 13, and think he can keep it up. 8,800. I don't know what his ownership is off the top of my head. Let me see real quick. Ownership's right at 13%. Right at 13%. So you'll see if you're playing DFS this week, it's going to be a little bit more widespread ownership, unless you're Patrick Cantlay. I know with the JT withdrawal, he that kind of spread a lot more ownership to the Cantlays, to the Xanders, to Rory. So you'll see a little bit more widespread ownership here. Then my last one is going to be Mark Leishman at plus 180. I'm putting a full unit on that. I really, really like. He's got obviously course history here. Not in the greatest recent form, but I'm going to take course history over recent form here. And I like the odds at plus 180. You can also maybe take a flyer on his first round leader. So, Teaser, how do you like your top 20?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Seamus Power. I don't have him yet. It's weird because he's like a big guy who can, hit the ball, but he's really good at positional courses. We saw him play well. I'm just looking at his, stats this year. Pebble Beach 9th, Sony Open 3rd. Those are really small courses. What he had at the Players, a 33rd, which isn't bad. PGA Championship and U.S. Open, a 9th and a 12th. So, he's been playing really well this year. What price did you get him? Plus 140?
For Seamus, yeah, I got plus 140.
Oh man, I don't know. You could have talked me into it because I wasn't thinking about him, but I might have to. But
Here,
so
let's
I'm going to start.
Let's put his. This is what he does done at the Travelers here.
Which is, it's not nothing special.
Nothing special, but he's there.
He also wasn't. He hasn't been who he is. He's kind of popped off this year and last year. So he's a different player nowadays. So sometimes when course history, just like anyone watching out there who's kind of getting into, golf and wanting to look at their own stuff, course history is good, but that's not the end all be all because a lot of guys are different types of players than they were, 3-4 years ago. So that kind of goes with Seamus Power, who's really on a keeper.
As you guys can see here with the strokes gained,
Right. He's on the come up. So
exactly. Yep.
So that's mainly with those guys. I wouldn't look too much into it. So yeah, like you said, I don't know. I might have to put him in there. But for my first guy, which I don't know now because I might just switch power with him. But Keegan Bradley at plus 120. I think I'm going to go with Keegan Bradley at plus 120. He kind of has horrible course form here, which does scare me a little bit. It's not really. I know he does have a second here in 2019 before COVID, but coming off 2 missed cuts here. He's also been playing really well. He had what did he have? He had
You're talking about his recent form?
Yeah, what was he top? Or no, he came in 7th last week.
He was top 10 for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check that. But yeah, he's close to home. He's a Boston guy, so Connecticut is right there. I think he's going to come off last week, play well. It's always with his putter. It's weird though because he does play at tougher courses, but this is kind of in the middle of a birdie fest and a tough course, like we were saying. So I'm going to roll with the plus 120 at top 20. He's kind of been. I think he's going to roll right into Connecticut and keep playing well. He did gain 11 strokes last week, so that's very good to see. And then you kind of already talked about this guy, Davis Riley at plus 170. This is more of a you said he hasn't played here before, but I don't really, with these new young guys, it doesn't even matter, honestly, because we've seen Cam Young and him just, burst on the scene wherever. So his game really matches tough courses, positional courses. He keeps it in the fairway. He's pretty good on approach. So this is more of a just ride the hot hand for me. Sometimes I do that with top 20s like I did last week. Look at those finishes at 9.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's insane. So he's been on a heater, and all those courses are different. That's what's kind of amazing. Mexico was a long course. Byron Nelson, PGA, Charles Schwab. So, you're getting all types of different courses he's playing well at. So I'm going to go plus 170 there. This one is a question mark. This next one, as of right now, you guys can kind of see my card later on my page if I go with it or not. But Denny McCarthy at plus 250, man. I don't know. It's great value. I've seen him so much on Twitter that kind of just turns me off of him. Honestly, that's really the right word for it. And he has horrible course history here. He's also been on a heater. Yep. But my thing with Denny is he plays well at tough courses. So he's more of a, if the top 20 you might need to be at, I don't know, maybe 11 under this week. Who knows, maybe 9 under. So can he get there? Sometimes he struggles with the birdies or better, I believe. That was one of my stats this week. Let's see where he ranks in birdies. He's 71st, so that's kind of, middle of the pack. He's more of kind of a grinded out player, but plus 250 is insane odds for that. So that's still a question mark for me. And then my last one, which I already locked in, was Brendan Todd at plus 350. I kind of already talked about him. He's probably one of my favorite plays of the week, up and down the board on outrights or anything. He just fits his. He's not really great in the model. He's never really gonna, rate out well in a model. But course form here: 30th, 11th, and a 15th. Or he did get 11th when he blew up on that Sunday with Dustin Johnson in the final round. But he's been on a heater. The Charles Schwab RBC. They're very similar courses to here. He got a 3rd and a 13th. And he also got 8th at the Valero. So this guy, he hits fairways. He kind of relies on his putter, but he's a great putter, always a top 10 putter. So I love the value plus 350. I don't know how it's that high, but
I agree. I like that.
What?
I said, yeah, I agree, because I like that. Look, just looking at course history, like I said, it's not the end all be all, but if you're going to find some better odds, you better have some good course history here.
I mean, we always say too, like we really look for perfect fits in course comps, and he really does fit like what you want at this course. I mean, like we said, the rough here is a little bit of a penalty, so you do want to keep it in the fairway. And for him, like a driver's, he's not the longest hitter, so he's going to keep it in there when he needs to, and rely. I think he's going to rely on his putter this week in short game, so he'll be up there. And then, I'll kind of just name out the top 40s. I also have Brendan Todd at plus 120 for a top 40. So I'm in it all throughout the card. Hopefully he makes the cut, or that's a big hit there. And then Joel Damon, you talked about him. I got him plus 120 just to be on the safer side. I like the way he's playing. He's, another close guy. He's around that area, close to home. So, yeah.
What do you got him for, top 40 or top 20?
These are top 40s now.
Top
Todd
40s,
at plus 120, Damon at plus 120. He also played well at the U.S. Open, so he's coming in hot. He's another guy who kind of fits the course's mold here. And then top 40, my last one I'm going with is Cam Davis. I'm kind of all over this guy this week. He pops out here and there, and it's either for him this week, it's going to be a top 10 or a miscut. I think it's usually nothing really in between with him. He doesn't have great course history here. He's usually good on, the positional courses, so I do like him. He's also
Who was that again? Sorry.
Cam Davis.
Oh yeah, Cam Davis. Got it.
And I love the value. I got plus 150. The one thing, he's really doesn't rank out well in the model, but he's a solid player, and I think there's a couple. One thing with him is like he can make eagles in bunches, which is kind of crazy to say. Like he'll pop off and have like 3 eagles in 2 days. So there's a couple holes where he can attack the par 4 15, 290, and there's 2 par 5s that he can use to his advantage. So I do like him this week, and that kind of wraps up my cards. I'll have the tournament matchups out later on, and you guys can follow me on Twitter and get those.
Make sure you're tuning into his matchups. They're always on point there. But no, I'll go to my top 40s real quick. To go back to Joel Damon real quick, or Damon. His presser at the U.S. Open, he said his game's right there. He liked where it was at, and he feels confident going into next week. Like he couldn't wait to play next week. You kind of like to hear those words out of the guys. He's going to be playing well, and he wants to get back out there to keep his swing right. I'm also doing his top 40. I'm going to double dip on him. So I went on his outright, and then I went top 40 as well at plus 110. I'm going to put a full unit on that. So I'll tweet that out as well. I do like Daman here. And then the 2 other ones that will wrap it up here for the top 40s. I got Siwoo Kim at plus 110 here. He's been a little bit up and down recently, with miscuts in 2 of his last 4. I do think with this being a little bit shorter course, a little bit more accurate of, driver off the tee, I do like Siwoo this week. And then again, course history here. He has the ability to score as long as he makes the cut. So, 3 out of the 5, he's placed top 40, 1 top 20. Unfortunately, there is some miscuts in here, but I'm willing to take the risk here, and I think it's pretty solid value. He'll be in my player pool as well for DFS. And then somebody maybe you heard about a little bit throughout the week, Doug Gim here. I'm gonna I'm gonna go plus 140, a half a unit on top 40. Like you've seen here, he's up and down, up and down. Like I said, it's a play that you're gonna have to stomach up some risk, but he's played very, very decently. He hit, RBC, 18th, 60th at the Memorial.
Yeah, you want to know why he doesn't play well? You can just exit out of Traveler, just backspace on that, and you can everyone look all the way to the right and look at strokes gains putting. That's just an atrocious putter, but
you never know when the putter can get hot.
No, that's fair. That's the only thing with him is that's all I'm saying. Like top 40 is a great bet with him because he can have a decent week with the putter and you can get away with it. But yeah, that's the one thing with him, man, is the putter. But yeah, with the top 40, you're kind of hoping he just gets through the first 2 days. So
yeah, I agree. If he makes the cut, I think we're golden. So yeah. We should be good. But like I said, it'll be some risk if you're playing him on the DFS landscape. Like he'll be in mine. He's a 2% owned player at 7,100. So that shows you right there what kind of risk you're going to be taking. A guy at 2%. Do you have any first round leaders you want to give out at all? Have you looked at any of that? I got a couple.
Yeah, I usually look. Let me look now. I usually look after. You can start if you want. I'll take a look at what the board has.
So one of them we're going to go with is where are we going? Keegan Bradley. So we're going to go back to the well. What Teaser was talking about earlier. If he has the ability to, he played incredible the first 3 rounds of the U.S. Open, and then he just kind of tailed on Sunday. I'm seeing someone that could probably do that once again at this tournament. So I'm gonna hop on his first round leader at 35-1, and then somebody else that I'm on outright. I'm gonna double up with the first round leader, which is Neiman at 35-1 as well. So Bradley, I just think he can have a really, really quick start. Neiman, I obviously think the same, and I also think he can take it outright as well. However, I was going to maybe do Cantlay, but I think Cantlay is just going to stick around and then maybe take it away from maybe on a Thursday or on a Saturday or Sunday, more than getting out to a fast start where you're leading the pack the entire tournament. So that's my thought process there with the first round leaders, Bradley and Neiman. You found one yet?
Rory at 20-1. It's like. It's not really a great number on a first round leader, but like he's literally led like the past 3 times after the first day. So close to it. So
he's motivated too. He's motivated and playing very well.
He's on a mission, man. It's like either Sam Burns at 28-1. That's always a good bet. He's usually out there early, or he's usually off to a great start round 1. I'm going to try to look for some value here. I'm actually fading Varner in a tournament matchup, but you can always see him on a day 1 doing something and then blowing up on a Saturday. So you can never go wrong with a Varner first round leader. I don't know, man. Let's see. I'm trying to look for some value here. I don't know. Cam Davis worth a shot, 100-1.
There you go.
There you
go. You're on Cam anyway. Might as well.
Maybe get an eagle in there somewhere. But yeah, he sometimes gets off to a good start. So that's kind of who I'm looking at. This week it's really not appealing to me. I've done first round leaders the past couple weeks, but it's kind of just shooting randomly here.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, so let me start naming some guys off that we've left off. I like doing this to see if you would add them to the player pool, or would you maybe place a bet, maybe live. What would you do with them? So I'm just going to go off of the guys that are the highest ranked ownership-wise of DFS.
Okay.
Just so these are people that we haven't talked about. First one is Mito. What do you think about him?
Jesus. I don't
I'm
know
personally on him this week in DFS. Not betting wise, but I think he can have a pretty good showing.
what he missed. I guess he's coming in 17 third, 17 third, miscut. He's never played here. I mean, geez, man, I honestly am not a big Mito guy. Like, I just don't know his game yet. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen him
Right.
play. I just don't know about him yet. So I would say stay away. Like, I'm not. If you want to have him in, go ahead. If you have something you like about him this week, go ahead. If you don't play him. I would just stay away and all from him. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's always tricky with me. I'm kind of still getting a grasp on him. Like he's a rookie like Riley and Young. I kind of know them more in their games more than his. So
Yeah, and everybody just knows from that
right, just
epic collapse,
yeah,
So it's tough to stomach. But I'm surprised he's garnering 16% ownership for DFS. He is 8,700. Maybe that's the reason for it. He's at 45-1 to win it. Just be a long shot here, and then the guy right below him in ownership is Brennan Steele. He's the cheapest one at 7,700. He has phenomenal course history, so that makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
And being at 7,700, if you're playing cash games, I'd more than likely recommend Brennan Steele than if you're playing a high risk lineup, because I think he's going to be in a lot of lineups there with the ownership,
Yeah,
with the value and everything like that.
this is like another guy. He has great course history, but it dates back to like 2017. So that's a different story where like
That's
he's
true.
more of on the trend down instead of up. So I don't know. I do think that's a little high percentage. Wouldn't you say there's more? I'm not like a big DFS guy, but you would kind of want to pivot away from him, right? If he's that high, or would you?
That's a guy that screams to me as a fade or be underweight on for sure, and that's where I was going with cash games over, high risk. If you're playing GPPs with thousands and thousands of players, maybe stay away from Brennan. He's
Right.
he's just going to come with a lot of ownership, and it's all past results from way back in the day. You
Yeah.
can get maybe I know Davis Riley's at 15%, but you throw Davis Riley in that lineup instead of Brendan Steele, you have different salary that creates a different lineup, so to speak. So then, I'll give you two more.
Yeah.
We're going to go Xander and Jordan Spieth. Those two we have not spoke about. Xander broke my heart again last week. I was on him 25-1. I think he is close to that again this week. Let's see. He's at 18-1. And then we got Jordan Spieth right at 18-1 as well. They're garnering pretty much the exact same ownership with only being $100 away in salary, both at 15% in DK. Which one would you favor over the other?
This is actually a tough one, like favoring wise over one. I mean, I would say Xander's, the more consistent guy. But the funny thing is, like Spieth, if you just take a look at, let me pull up his year this year.
I think it's been pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, he's been great. I'm just saying, let's look at like what he's been good at. So 37th U.S. Open, that's not great. 18th at the Memorial, that's pretty good. That's a tough course. All right, this is where it goes. 7th at Charles Schwab, right? Positional course. 2nd at Byron Nelson, kind of a positional course. 1st at Heritage, a comp course. So like we're in like a scenario where I think you have to play Spieth at a positional course where, I think that's his game nowadays. Where I think that's where he does well at. So, he'll eventually like in some major. So he'll contend and stuff. But I think this is where his niche is right now. The short positional courses where the getting out of play isn't really there, so he can use hybrid, irons off the tee. I think Spieth is a good play. I haven't seen honestly much about him this week, so that's what I kind of like. I don't know what's the projection on 15%.
He's 15%, and the more we're kind of talking about it, it's kind of leaning me towards playing him a little bit more, and maybe not lock buttoning both of them, but having pretty close to 50% or more Spieth, and then you have Cantlay at 100%, and just seeing what the lineups kind of run out in the optimizer and see what it does. So
I don't know about. I'm never good with Xander. It's like I don't know if he really fits here, but Spieth, it's like So I went to Heritage and saw him win. Like just watching him maneuver around that course, and similar course like this, I think he's a good play this week. I really do. So I think that's his game now. Has to be very strategic and positional because he can be a little erratic off the tee. He's been better this year, but I
Right.
do think he would be a good play this week.
Yeah. No, I think I would lean Spieth to Xander. Obviously, Xander, you can't go wrong with him. But just with the course comp and the RBC and short game, and we've seen that his driver has actually produced a little bit more yardage this year. He's found a little bit more yardage there. So, and you can still, driving distance always helps on this course as well. It makes those second shots a little bit shorter. And he obviously has the short game to back it up here as well. So I wouldn't mind Spieth. I'm going to probably play him more DFS now after we kind of talked that through. So any final closing thoughts? If anybody's got any final questions, throw them in the chat. Make sure you guys join the free Discord. If you have any questions, DM me on Twitter at @dopbets. So final thoughts for the Travelers Championship, Teaser.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope we can get an outright this week. I only have two this year. We're struggling to get one recently.
When's the last one we had?
What'd you have? Who'd you get?
I'm trying to look back.
You had one like.
I had Thomas when he won.
Yeah, you had Thomas. I had Cam Smith at the Players and Hogan.
Oh yeah, the PGA. Duh. Yeah, PGA.
Yeah, so it's been a while for me. It's like one of those things you just want to hit, So I mean, we've been good everywhere else except getting that outright. Let's just hope,
Yeah, we're 0 for our last 4. We got to get this one. Yeah,
and it's been heartbreak, most of them. So I don't know. I think my bold prediction. I'll just go with a bold prediction.
There we go.
Right now, I think I'm gonna get it this week. I forgot. I don't think you're on him, but I think Davis Riley is gonna get his first win.
I'm on him. I'm on him.
All right, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
But I do think I'm going to go right now, and I'm going to replay this and retweet it if this happens. But that's my bold prediction of the week: Davis Riley's first win. So,
man, I can 100% see that. I really, really like Davis Riley
I really
this week.
can. I don't know why. Sometimes you just have that vision in your head, and it's just like I can just see it happening. So,
yeah. So he'll miss the cut, everybody. So just make sure you guys don't have him.
Go 12 over.
But no, final thoughts for me is just appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been really, really fun to do. We've gained a nice little following. So just make sure you guys keep tuning in. And as always, we will continue with live streams and doing all this stuff throughout the NFL season too. We are going to go crazy in the NFL season. So just make sure you guys stay on. We'll have a lot more content for you guys, and we appreciate you guys. And let's cash an outright. Let's have a quality Travelers Championship while we take home a lot of money. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys.